Howdy, folks. Brent, the Bourbon Baron here. No, I don't need picture in picture. One of me is enough. It is great to be with you on this beautiful, beautiful Texas spring day. It's kind of starting to feel a little like summer today, though. I think it's going to be like in the mid 80s, but I think tomorrow it's only going to be like 70. Welcome to Texas. So, anyway, I have a great show lined up for you today. And as usual, I'm trying to figure something out technologically, and I'm struggling. So, I like to be able to see myself. That way I can kind of tell if anybody's listening or not. Which account? How about I do that? Any account other than that one. All right. I have a really good show lined up for you today. Yeah, there I am. It's working. So, anyway. Little scattered. Got a brand new washer today. We hadn't had a washer in 6 weeks. You got one of those home warranties, they fix the miscellaneous stuff in your house when it breaks down. So washer broke down like right at Valentine's Day, and called, put in a ticket with the insurance place. They sent a guy out. He comes out, looks at it. It's broken. Oh, thank you. I'm gonna have to order some parts. Be back in a week. So next week, shows up, puts parts on, didn't fix it. Well, shit. Now what do you do? I need another part. It's going to be another week. So he goes, orders another part, brings that one in, puts it on, but breaks something else. All right, now this was the third trip, right? He breaks something else. It didn't have anything to do with what was wrong. He just broke something else trying to put the new part on. So they come back again to replace the broken part. But it still didn't fix the original issue. And so finally, me and Mrs. Sticks-n-Stonez got together, and we were spending like $50, $60 a week having our laundry done. Now, I don't mean like going to the dry cleaner and pressing all that kind of stuff. I just mean just washing and folding. You've got two teenagers, generate a lot of laundry, and that was just like bare minimum. So over the 6 weeks, we spent like $300. Like, you can buy a brand new washer for about twice that, even one that's smart. So that's what we did. Now we're going to have to argue with the insurance company about just giving us the money instead of continuing to try and replace the one that Lowe's just hauled away. So anyway, you may have noticed yesterday I blasted out that I was doing some show prep. Colonel E.H. Taylor, small batch. One of the reasons I went with this, not only did I think it would be a good match, but I managed to pick up a bottle at a local package store. You spend $40 and they'll let you buy this one. So you can't buy it without spending another $40, $60, whatever it was. So hopefully I'll get up to those 2,000 points I need so they'll let me buy one of the bottles way up on the top shelf. Doing all right, though. I'm doing pretty good. I like it. Anyway, Colonel E.H. Taylor. And I am pairing that with a Herrera Estelli Norteno. And this is, before I forget, this is the Toro Especial, 6x50 on the ring gauge. So it's the Robusto ring gauge with the Toro length. Now, I did this yesterday, so I kind of have some ideas. But just to kind of give you an overall, this is a pretty good experience. E.H. Taylor is known for its really kind of deep flavors. Maybe something along the lines of nougat, that stuff in the Three Musketeers bar, and some dates, something like that. It is a straight bourbon, Sazerac company. Distillery is Buffalo Trace. It's one of those many things that Buffalo Trace is into that's all the rage. Not just Buffalo Trace, E.H. Taylor, Blanton's, Weller, the list goes on. This is an ongoing release, so it's not special. It is 100 proof, 50% alcohol by volume. As in most things with Buffalo Trace, the mash bill is undisclosed. It is believed to be mash bill number 1. And mash bill number 1 is believed to have about 10% or maybe a little less rye in it, because E.H. Taylor is known to be just a little bit spicy. And so when you're talking about whiskeys, corn is sweet. Wheat is a little bit sweeter. It doesn't have a lot of spice to it. Wheat is one of my favorite whiskeys. I just love the flavors that come with wheat, and they do have some sweetness to them, not a lot of spice. Where rye is that tends to ramp up the spice, and that's why straight ryes are so spicy. Lots of really good peppery spice in them. And it's the grain. You never would know that a type of grain would make all that difference, but it does. So, hang on. I've had this bottle a while, so I didn't get a really good cork pop out of it. Let's go ahead and glass some of this up. Now that we've talked all about my washing machine, I may just have to finish that off. I'm not going to do it right this second. Go ahead and get this going. Now, as you can tell, it is just a really beautiful color. It's kind of that deep copper, really deep amber color. It's got some nice little reddish hues to it, which I would tend to think more along the lines of wheat. But it is, you can see it. The proof is in the visual. So on the nose, in pairing this before, I have noticed some very strong notes of alcohol, really good dose of alcohol on the nose. Not this time. It may be the fact that the bottle is almost gone, set on the shelf a while. It's just kind of a lot of that may have kind of breezed off the aroma. But what I do smell is just some wonderful notes of butterscotch and caramel or caramel or however you want to say it, that chewy stuff. I do get some hints of like baking bread. There's some notes of licorice and raisin kind of in there a little bit. I mean, it's a really great spirit on the nose. I think it's probably one of my favorites as far as that goes. It does have some really good legs. They do cling to the glass really well. Now, on the palate. There is some spice there, kind of in the back of your mouth. But then the notes of vanilla come through really first. And there's kind of a complex blend of raisins and charred oak and some black pepper. It's a fairly simple profile. But it is a really good spirit. And I do catch a little bit of what I believe is rye back there, the grain part, not the spicy part. On that second sip, I picked up some rye grain way back on the back of my tongue. Now the finish there's more vanilla. There's maybe a little bit of tobacco in there and some leather and then more pepper. So, overall, I think this is it's a really easy to drink bourbon. It does offer some rich flavors, but it's not overly complex. And I would say it's very well balanced for a small batch. It's really hard to find fault in it in that. I won't say it like really wows me, and I think that's what I've said all along. Like I really enjoyed a Weller Antique 109. I really liked it. I like Blanton's. This is probably a little farther down there. I would say this would be, to me, more along the lines of Weller Special Reserve. So there you go. It's something to kind of compare it with. Special Reserve is usually fairly available. I've actually got a fifth and a 1.75 liter of it. The 1.75 hadn't even cracked a seal on it yet. You can find it anywhere, pretty much. All right, let's move on. Let me look over here. And hang on. All right. Just gonna look here and see. Oh no. Telling you. Technology. There I am again. And looks like I'm the only one that's on. So I'm just gonna lay it down here. I can't keep it stood up. All right, now let's move on. The stick. It's already been 10 minutes. This is a Herrera Estelli Norteno. And again, this is the Toro Especial. It's a little longer than a Robusto. It's 6 inches, but it's the same ring gauge as a Robusto at 50. It's a Nicaraguan. It is fabricated in La Grande Fabrica Drew Estate. That's the best I can do. Now, Norteno is the Spanish word for north. I've seen various reasons why this was called the Norteno. It has, let me just go through the specifics here real quick, and then we'll get back to that. The filler is Nicaraguan from Estelli and Jalapa. The wrapper is Honduran, and the binder is Honduran, and the wrapper is a Mexican San Andres. Now, there have been people that say that's why it's called the Norteno, or North, because San Andres, the Mexican province or valley where they grow these leaves, is north of Estelli. But Estelli is in the north of Nicaragua. I think that's probably why it's called that. But I haven't talked to Mr. Herrera or whatever to determine that for sure. Now, I do know that the bird that's on the wrapper is the national bird of, and I can't tell you what the name of it is. I tried to say it several times. But anyway, that is the national bird of Nicaragua. So band is very simple. It's got a little bit of gloss to it. It's just kind of a cream color with the olive green background. It's really nice. It doesn't overshadow the stick. Now, visually, as you can probably tell, this is a fairly roughly rolled stick. Not bad. It's like that's intentional. It's got lots of little humps and dips in it. It is minimally veined. The one I smoked yesterday, I could see the seams on. I could not see the seams on this one. Seams are invisible. It's got kind of, like I said, it's got kind of a rough texture to it, kind of like the grocery sacks. I use that analogy a lot. But I will say something I noticed yesterday, and I even took a picture of it. I hope you can see it. I have never seen a stick with a quadruple cap, 4 caps. And so that's why I was just looking at, because I took a picture of it yesterday, and I'm looking and I'm like, 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 caps on that stick. So there's something. All right, I'm watching Auburn and Michigan State. Final Four time, Now on the nose, this is a little bit of a pungent cigar. It's got a really strong, like earthy or stable kind of aroma to it. Some people say manure. I don't know if I want to go like that. I just say staples, barnyard. There is a slight sweetness to it. And there's a bit more just earthiness, not like the barnyard kind of thing, but just like fresh earth. And a blend of cedar on the foot. It's a good cigar. All right, let's cut it. I'm using my cigar V cutter. It's the way I cut most of my sticks. It's just my preference. Different people like different things. This is the one I like. I'm not a big guillotine guy, although I do have them and will use them. Got that one a little bit crooked, but not bad. I like for them to be nice and straight. On the cold draw, I get some notes of kind of like a semi-sweet kind of chocolate, not the regular like milk chocolate. There's some dried fruit in there, like raisins or prunes, maybe some dried nectarines, something like that. Kind of the stone fruit kind of thing. There's some earth and some woodiness, although it's not a specific wood like an oak or a cedar. I really like the stick. It's a good stick. Let's go ahead and toast it up here. Using my Rocky Patel welding torch. This is the Envoy. I swear by it. Five flame. It is actually a sipper, a butane sipper. It does not use, I mean, you can light multiple cigars and relight a bunch of times before you have to fill it back up again. To have a five torch on it, it uses a lot less butane than even some double or triple torches. Now on the light, I get a really good like earthiness. There's some coffee notes in there. There's a little bit of chocolate mixed in with it, and there's a little bit of sweetness on the palate with some raisins and maybe some anise and a touch of red pepper, and then there's more pepper on the retro inhale. I also get some like shoe leather, boot leather, something like that on the nose too. Let's try them together. I'm sorry, on the retro inhale. It's through the nose. Actually, I think these are going better together today than they did yesterday. And you don't know what I did yesterday. You just know that I smoked and drank. But like the way that smoke hangs in the glass. It's just my thing. Those really do go pretty well together. You've got some sweetness and some pepper in the spirit, and then you've got some coffee and chocolate and some pepper in the stick. So they do kind of meld together pretty well. Yeah, I mean, I think it's, is it a, like I don't know, a top 10? No, I don't know if I could go that far. But hey, that's something I did notice yesterday. That is just a little bitty hump right there. Little bitty one. But yesterday, the stick that I smoked, it burned funky the whole way through. It didn't affect the smoke any, but you would just notice it, You'd have like this side would be down here and this side would be up here. It would be like a big wave. Yeah, it's just kind of. I'm going to say, hey, everybody, I do know what I didn't do. I didn't go and post that I was going live. Forgot to do that. I get so caught up with everything. Got the TV on, got the bottle, got the glass, got the lighter, got the cutter, got the notes, got the other phone so I can see myself, see what I'm doing there. So anyway, hey, get somebody else on. Howdy. If you're not watching the Final Four, Auburn is currently leading. I hope I'm not going to get a copyright infringement for expressing that. Hell, my Aggies, they didn't fare well. They did about like the football team did. They started out like a gazelle and they wound up like a tortoise. Wow. And one guy on Michigan State, he got 9 fouls. The rest of the team has 10. Not the rest of the team has 1 for a total of 10. No, the rest of the team's got 10. Still, it'd be worse the other way. But, you got 9 fouls in a game, you might as well go ahead and sit down. Maybe that wasn't a game. I don't know. I just saw the I didn't get to read everything. I just saw that. Well, if I can say one thing about the March Madness, I can say this. I do love the fact that Texas was one of the first 4 out. At least A&M hung around a little while. Woo! He just rejected that shot. Not on me, you're not. Good job. I don't really care who wins. I just like watching it. I didn't participate too much in sports in high school because I was self-conscious. I was kind of a fatty when I was little, even though my mother swears I wasn't. But I'm like, I can see pictures. I can see what I look like. But my dad was a basketball player in high school. They went to state tournament. I went to the same school he went to. And it was kind of like that. You had like multiple generations of kids, all go through the same. You had like grandparents, parents, and kids all going through the same school. Not at the same time. But yeah, like he was back in like the late 50s, early 60s. And you go into our gym, and we had state championship banners hanging from the 1920s. But anyway, so I tried out for like, I was 5th grade, 6th grade basketball. It's like Pee Wee League thing, but it was with the school. And I only remember, I wasn't very good. I wasn't very coordinated with it. And I think I made the team, but I think it was just, there was 10 of us. If you went, you made the team. So anyway, I only remember playing in 2 games, and it could be the same game. Coach told me to go in. I was terrified of that man. He was the dad of one of the players, and he always seemed like he was mad about something. Always. I never saw him crack a smile, ever. And I graduated with his son. I never saw him crack a smile, ever. Anyway. So I remember this one game, like one of the best players is out there. He's going to shoot a free throw. Coach tells me, go in sub in for him. So I did. I'm up there. I'm like, hey, that's the free throw line. I'm like, hey, he wants to sit down. I'm going to shoot these free throws. Well, no, you're not supposed to do that. So they send me back over to the side. I stand over there a minute, feeling like I look stupid. So probably did. And so then the referees changed their mind, and they're like, all right, he's not going to shoot free throws. So then I come in. That's all I remember there. But then I also remember being in a game, and there's like, I got put in the game, there was like 45 seconds left. 9.5 in the game. I played like 45 seconds. So apparently we were ahead by a lot. So I'm like, all right, let's try baseball. Back then, I was scared of the ball. I'd always hold the glove out, keep my head turned because I was afraid it was going to hit me. Yeah. This is a guy that ended up going to Iraq and getting shot at. Anyway, I did even worse in baseball. I didn't even make the team. They had us like run around out the inside of the field. And by the time I got back, I was about ready to pass out. I didn't make the team. I wasn't really interested in it because you played in the summertime. It's hot. Northeast Arkansas, it's hot. Dallas is much better. Love Texas. Can't go. That was my foray into sports. When I was in about 10th grade, I shot up several inches. I'm about 6'3". And in our school, I was one of the tallest guys. There was a couple of guys that were like 6'4", 6'5". There was me. And I'd be in PE. We, like days it's raining, we're running around the inside of the gym. They've got the practice goals down for basketball practice right after school. And I'm running, jumping, grabbing every rim as I go around. And coaches be like, Elrod, why are you not on my basketball team? And so I just use a really, answer. I used to be like, I'm lazy, coach. That was my answer. When the reality was, I looked at those uniforms, and they're not the big baggy ones like they have now. I look like 10 pounds of flour in a 5-pound sack. And I didn't want to be embarrassed again. Finally, about junior year or so, I finally went out and I joined the track team. Not to run or jump or anything like that. I threw the shot put, the cannonball. I wasn't on the shot put team. I was the shot put team. I was it. I think I ranked 4th in the district. So that was all of my high school sports. It's kind of like the same thing is until 45 days before I graduated high school. This is kindergarten to 12th grade. Same school. K through 6 on one side of the street, 7 through 12 on the other side of the street. I had the last 45 days of my high school, I was a senior, about to graduate. I had a girlfriend from my school. The rest of the time, nope, not dating anybody, not even trying to date anybody from my school. Why? Because in 5th grade, I asked a girl if she'd be my girlfriend, and she said no. And I was like, all right, yeah, never being embarrassed like that again. I'm writing a book. When it comes out, I'll tell you all about it, and y'all can go buy it. I got all kinds of stories. I got stories to wrap up in several days of live streaming. They would kick me off the live stream with all the stuff I got. But you know how some people they hit their maturity late. Yeah, I hit mine in my 40s. Married to a woman for 23 years, demon from hell. Divorced her, moved to Texas. My mom told me all growing up, I said, I'm going to live in Texas one day. And I'm like, well, it took me a while to get there, but I made it. And I hardly ever leave the state now. Go on vacation. That's about it. And even then, sometimes stay in Texas. So Texas got a lot to offer. Big state. But I got a condo in Florida I have to go down and check on. Go down and lay on the beach. Margaritaville. Yeah. I'm a cowboy beach bum. So yeah, do this so you don't see my bald head. Stetson, wear nothing else. Love Texas. You can experience all 4 seasons, sometimes in the same day. I think I've told this story before. I've left Dallas and it'd be like 72 degrees and drive the 5.5 or 6 hours it is out to Amarillo, get out there and it's like 28 and snowing. True story. Here's my hat. Anyway, back to, this, I could just tell stories, but that's not what we're here for. We're here for this. I really do enjoy these Herrera cigars. I've paired some of the other ones before, and this one is another one. I really like the blend. I love the Mexican San Andres leaf, which if you joined us late, that's the wrapper. The wrapper leaf is Mexican San Andres. Is probably my favorite tobacco leaf. I might even be able to have that as a salad. Just put a little ranch dressing on it. I will say, as we're getting a little deeper into the stick, we're not quite halfway, but I ain't gonna keep y'all on forever. It'll take another 20 minutes to get to halfway mark, especially if I'm talking. But as we're getting a little deeper into it, the pepper is kind of pulling back a little bit, and we're getting a little bit more of the chocolate open up. Yeah, I really like the stick, and I think E.H. Taylor goes with it pretty well. I like E.H. Taylor, but as far as if I was going to like reach up and just grab something off the shelf, I would, probably go with Weller or Makers, more of the weeded kind of whiskey. That's just my, unless I was going to go with something very basic, like probably the best whiskey you can drink, just anytime. It's very smooth. It's got great flavors, great aromas. I don't think anything beats Gentleman Jack Daniels. It's a great whiskey. That's the Tennessee whiskey. It's technically not bourbon, so it's got to be distilled in Kentucky, or straight bourbon. I mean, Kentucky straight bourbon. It's all confusing. But Jack Daniels, they specifically said when they were presenting their spirits to the government to be licensed or whatever, they were wanting to put them in the bourbon category. And they're like, nope, not bourbon. We're Tennessee whiskey. And I don't think anything is better as a mixer than Old Number 7. A great price point. I mean, you can get a fifth for like $20. And it's the, not maple. Yeah, maple. Charcoal that they filter it through makes it really smooth. It's great mixing with. And, again, you can't beat the price point. If you're just looking for a less expensive bottle to mix drinks with, there you go. But the Norteno here, this is a really great stick. It does not rival the Rocky Patel 60, but this is a great stick. Well, just down to me again. Maybe I need to give me a thumbs up. I don't know how to do that. Like it. There we go. Prime the pump. I need a little something different. Hang on. After I've already done all the, telling you everything about it, I can go ahead and throw a different kind of drink in there. But I have noticed now, things have kind of ebbed and flowed as far as on the whiskey side of things. My first bottle of E.H. Taylor was like $100 or $125. That may have been this. I think it was this bottle a year and a half ago. Now, I bought my new bottle. I had to buy something else for more than $40, which is something else I'm going to be pairing here pretty soon. I was so happy to get it. If you saw my post, I posted a picture of the new bottle of E.H. Taylor small batch, still in its little tube, and the bottle of Penelope weeded bourbon. I've been wanting to get that. They had it, so and it was like, I don't know, $50 or $60, and I'm like, well, that gets me above the 40, and so then I can buy a replacement bottle of E.H. Taylor because I'm about to finish this one off while I sit here and watch Auburn and Michigan State. Now, this is Herrera Estelli, but remember, it is rolled at the Drew Estate factory, Fabrica, whatever you want to call it. And I am a huge fan of Drew Estate. He may be my second favorite behind Rocky as far as just lines, everything that they have. Never smoked a Rocky Patel that I did not like. and I have never smoked anything from Drew Estate that I did not like. Now, I tend to like some of the wackier kind of blends that, where he blends all kinds of different things other than just tobacco. Wacky stuff, not like wacky tobacco, which that'd probably be pretty good too. But, you get all kinds of like herbs and different things in the Cuba from his acid line. Cuba is an excellent cigar. A lot of purists poo-poo it because it's got different things in it. But Drew's an eclectic guy, but he knows what he's doing. He does. And I really enjoy it. I tell you, look here. Back to this one. That is just yesterday. I told you that yesterday. That one kind of burned a little funny, and it kind of made the ash a little funny. I ended up dropping it off before it fell in my lap because it was kind of crooked. This one, and we're just straight up and down. It's got some little waves and dips in the burn line, but nothing like yesterday. Maybe somebody just had a big night the night before when they rolled that one. I mean, those are regular people too down there. They go out. And they still had the hand stamp on from the club they went to. Back in my day, when I was young and crazy, lived 2 years in New York City. We roll in at 5:30. Have to be at work at 7:30, and we show up in the same clothes with a stamp on our hand, ready to work. This stick has got really, really great smoke production. Like I said, now that we're getting closer to the half, that kind of semi-sweet chocolate is becoming a little bit sweeter. It's kind of coming to the surface where the pepper is kind of pulled back, and you still get kind of there in the middle, a little bit of the kind of the raisins and licorice and star anise, whatever they want to call it. The Norteno is a really great stick, and I picked 5 up for it was like $25. I have my ways, and I really enjoy the 5-pack frenzy. I can't remember which one of those online places it is, whether it's Thompson or Famous or CI, but you get like 4 or 5 packs, so it's 20 cigars, but you have to pick different 5 packs. And if you get 4 5-packs, you're only spending like $23.95 per 5-pack or something like that. Or if you buy one, it's like $29.95. So you can go in and you can pick a bunch of different things. And that's usually how I do these, I'll pick things I hadn't had before. I've got 5 cigars instead of an entire box. It's a good way to do it. Hey, see, I primed the pump. I pushed like, and somebody else did too. So, if you're watching on X, be sure to follow me and, like my stuff and everything, because I'm really pushing X. I've got like 30,000 followers on Instagram, but I can't live stream on Instagram, and they won't let me monetize because. Sorry about that. That was my alert to tell my wife to take her medicine. So probably better do that. She's not here, but doesn't mean I can't do it. I do love the fact that my iPad syncs with my messages on my phone, because that's my phone. And we do a lot of texting. We have the little family group text thing and all that kind of stuff. And so they can text me while I'm doing this, and I don't have to stop what I'm doing. She's got the puppy, the 95-pound Labrador, out in the woods. You'll see me post pictures of Sadie on X. This may be a bit much, but I'm going to go ahead and, oh no, glad I bought another one of these. Also, back when I was a single man, didn't have a lot of money. Well, I mean, I actually did, but you know, I was raised. Oh, you know, you always hear those people say, "Well, we were poor, but I didn't know it." Oh no, we were poor, and I was pretty sure of it. But so I always just kind of, you know, I was always very, very frugal. You wouldn't know it being married to the first person I was married to. Spent money like his water. But I would take bottles. I'd peel and take the goop. It's like you spray on or whatever. It'll take off adhesive and stuff. And I'd get bottles like this. And then I would poke a string of Christmas lights down in it, cut a groove in the cork so the plug would come out the top. And I would set them on my counter in my apartment. My apartment was not very big. It was like 600 square feet, but it was right in the middle of downtown Dallas. So I was right there where everything was going on. And that's how I decorated for Christmas. I had a little tree that was about from the table. It was about that tall, fake tree. Had the little burlap ball at the bottom of it that it set on. And I'd wrap like one string of Christmas lights around. I don't even think it had any ornaments put on it. But that was, you know, I mean, I always went home to Arkansas for Christmas. But I'd wrap my gifts and I'd put them around the tree. And, you know, I did that stuff. I didn't put any like Christmas lights up in the windows and everything. I didn't do all that. You know, at least I could see Christmas inside my apartment. Well, I think I'm going to go ahead and wrap it. It's a very good stick. The Herrera Estelli Norteno. It's got a San Andres wrapper. It's got a Nicaraguan binder. And it's got Honduran jalapa. And, oh shit. I just turned my stuff off. Estelli. Nicaraguan jalapa and Estelli fillers. It's a great smoke. It's an affordable stick. And I think you'd really enjoy it. I really do. E.H. Taylor. It's a very good spirit. It's probably not in my top 10, but it's probably fairly close, you know. It is a good spirit. I got a bottle of the straight rye that I have not taken it out of the tube yet. Hadn't cracked the seal on it, so I'm gonna have to get around to that one here pretty soon. I don't think I mentioned this going all through this, but the E.H. Taylor small batch is bottled in bond. I've read the criteria before about what it takes to be bottled in bond. It doesn't really do a whole lot. It's just a lot of extra government regulations, and people love it. You know, they love it's bottled in bond. It doesn't really mean much. More government regulation. But until we get to be together again, you need to keep your sticks dry and your stones cold. And I hope you have a great day. And be sure to like, follow, heart, ring the bells, all that kind of stuff. Share this with people because I'd really like for more than 4 or 5 people to be watching it. I think my largest right now has been about 15 to 20. So definitely spread it around because I really do enjoy doing this. So be sure to tell them to go to X, the Sticks-n-Stonez, Sticks. I can't remember. Do I have? Oh, it's all rammed together now. I changed it. Sticks-n-Stonez, Sticks, Stonez, and the number 2. That's my handle on X, and that's where I'm really trying to do most everything. I still do. I have a service where I can go in and I can pick X and Insta, and I think Threads, and so I can blast out things to all of them. But I pretty much stay on X most of the time. And I'm always posting all kinds of stuff, puppies and space and Tesla, all kinds of stuff. So go look me up. I'd love to be friends with you. I will see you next weekend.